Hello, Pioneer Elementary boys and girls. This is Miss Bev. Guess what? Here comes a couple more stories. McDuff Comes Home by Rosemary Wells and Susan Jeffers. Rosemary Wells wrote the book, McDuff Comes Home, and pictures are by Susan Jeffers. Let me get this so it turns nice so we can turn the page. Hopefully we won't have too much glare. McDuff's corner of the garden was just under the kitchen window where he could hear the voices of the people he loved. There, McDuff relaxed and breathed in all the wonderful smells that escaped from the window. The snappy smell of Fred's frying sausages, the velvety smell of Lucy's vanilla rice pudding. One day the window was closed and there was nothing to smell or hear. Suddenly, McDuff saw something move in the neighbor's garden. It was a fat rabbit. Oh, look. Oh, what pretty illustrations this book has too. I love the flowers. They look like blue daisies. Zoom went the rabbit through the zinnias. McDuff squeezed through the fence after it. His collar and tag caught on the fence. Snap went his collar, and it fell off behind him. He is on it, running after that rabbit. The rabbit zigzagged over the neighbor's lawn and whizzed across the street. McDuff zigzagged and whizzed too. I'm gonna get you, rabbit. Over the hills and streets and flower beds, the rabbit scurried and skedaddled with Miss McDuff right on his tail until it found a hole and shot in. McDuff could not follow. McDuff was so tired from chasing the rabbit, he lay down in someone's vegetable garden and fell fast asleep. When McDuff woke up, he looked around. He could not see his kitchen window. He could not smell the sausages or vanilla pudding. He could not hear any voices that he knew. Uh-oh, he's lost. Mrs. Higgins came out to weed her garden. "Who's that under my eggplant?" she asked. Mrs. Higgins looked for McDuff's collar and tag and could not find them. "We will go to the police station," she said, "and see if anyone is there to pick you up." Mrs. Higgins drove McDuff up Main Street and down Pine Road and over the bridge to Oak Lane. Suddenly, McDuff smelled vanilla rice pudding. "Woof!" said McDuff. Mrs. Higgins turned left. Then McDuff heard someone he loved calling his name. "Woof!" said McDuff, and she turned right. Then he saw his own house at number 7 Elm Road. Lucy and Fred were calling for him. "Woof, woof," he said, and Mrs. Higgins stopped. "His collar is gone," said Lucy. "How did you know where to bring him?" "I guess I understand dog language," she said. Everyone was hungry. Lucy made some apple pie and sandwiches and gave McDuff his favorite treat, a small dish of vanilla rice pudding with a sausage sliced up on top. Ooh, McDuff was a lucky dog. Hope you enjoyed that story. He found his way home. McDuff comes home. Whoops. When Stella was very, very small, by Marie Louise Gay. Oh, this is a book from First Five. Must be a good one. Looks like it's signed, too. For Heather. When Stella was very, very small, she thought she was a turtle. Then she thought she was a goldfish. But being a dog was even better. When Stella was very, very small, she lived in a very, very big house. She could see the whole world from the top of the living room couch. Remember when you guys could do that? When you thought the couch was so tall? Stella couldn't open doors, look through keyholes, or even tie her shoes. She's little, isn't she? But she could race against her rubber ducks in the enormous Olympic-sized pool. Yes, I remember when the tub seemed big too. Stella always won. When Stella was very, very small, words looked like ants running off the pages. Butterflies flew on the walls and cups jumped off the table just like that. Every night before going to bed, Stella listened to the trees talking. They told stories about holding up the sky with their branches and tickling the bellies of the smallest clouds. Huh? I never heard that before, but that's kind of cool. When Stella was very, very small, she explored the great tropical jungle behind her house. There she saw a ferocious man-eating tiger and a giant slithering snakes. Huge insects buzzed around her ears. Beyond the tropical jungle, there was a desert that stretched on forever. One terribly windy day, Stella nearly lost her way during the wild sandstorm. And once when Stella was very, very small, it snowed so much that the whole world disappeared. But now that Stella's big, she feeds the goldfish, and she walks much faster than a turtle, and she carries the dog around like a little sack of potatoes. She plays hide and seek with the neighbor's cat and examines the worms and the tiny insects in her backyard. Oh, look, she growing up. Now that Stella is big, the ants in her books have become words, and words have become stories. Now Stella can read these stories to her little brother, Sam. Stella can also teach Sam how to be a snake, or a rabbit, or a bird. Hope you enjoyed those two stories. When Stella was very, very small.